Miss Rodeo, Massachusetts. Next, Miss Rodeo, Connecticut.
Go inside the gate, stop. The judge on the floor will give you the nod when it's time to go. Okay?
Excellent, sir.
And smile. All right.
His death but he was dead when
Might check that one, see if there's anything in it. They're going to be squirting water down there on that insulation. See the main for everybody.
She's thrown out.
This manhunt.
712-674.
County 3, County 5. County 3, County 5. FIA's over. We left.
he left. That's what I mean.
They're probably gone. Hope they don't have Sam. There's Sam. He jumped off and down through the window.
My first responsibility has to be to the position I now occupy. And I will fulfill that responsibility regardless of this campaign or however I might be to get more actively involved. I will refrain from that because I feel that a successful legislative session is necessary for the betterment of Oklahoma.
in Oklahoma, it appears to me that they're paying, but they're taking a little bit longer. The customer that's having a hard time meeting the ends meet each month is he's just not able to pay like he was 4 or 5 months ago, and I think that's all contributed to inflation.
Let me show the other one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could you put it back up?
Yeah.
William Daugherty, a member of the 1963 sophomore class at Tulsa Central High School. But after that year, he transferred to Oklahoma Military School, now Claremore Junior College. They still remember him here. Warren King taught English at the academy. He sponsored the newspaper. Bill Daugherty was a staff member.
Everybody recognized very quickly that he was an able student, and he achieved cadet rank rather rapidly. He had a very high degree of honor. He not only wrote about it for the school paper, but he behaved in that fashion as well.
Librarian Jean Tanner says Bill Daugherty set a good example, clean-cut, an honor student, and someone she looked up to.
Now, I don't picture him in this situation. I can't visualize him in a situation of being a spy.
But Muslim students say they found this letter, marked secret, in the embassy in Tehran, addressed to Secretary of State Vance. It talks about William Daugherty's assignment in Iran and mentions the regard for the great sensitivity to any hint of CIA activity.
It's a climate full of fear. Even though most of the students like Reza here are in the United States legally, they worry they may not be here for long, especially since one of their friends, Ali, who was a student with them here last year, has already gotten papers from the government, papers telling him he may have to leave the United States.
I talked to my advisor, Mr. Corey, but they said it's not my business. It's your problem. But I don't know.
The government may make Ali leave because he didn't pass enough classes last year to qualify as a full-time student, but at least he knows what's about to happen. For many other Iranians on this campus, it's a more uncertain situation, as they patiently wait in this hall for their turn to talk with the immigration man. Knows what's about to happen. For many other Iranians on this campus, it's a more uncertain situation, as they patiently wait in this hall for their turn to talk with the immigration man. The officials wouldn't let us film or tape any of their interviews, but they say most of those who are in violation of their visas simply forgot to renew them or changed schools without telling the immigration service.
You know, we started out on this ordinance to do something to help the people in existing properties that are flooding in this city. And what we're about to pass today is an ordinance that will help almost nobody. Almost nobody.
Shah is not a friend of ours. The Shah is not a friend of ours.
Shah, not the students.
The Shah, not the students. The Shah, not the students.
The Shah, not the Shah, not the students.
We feel that the action taken the other day by these members of the Tulsa Sunbelt Alliance was incorrectly represented as a Sunbelt action. And not all members of the Sunbelt Alliance support the position that they took. The Sunbelt Alliance as a whole is not prepared to take any one position on the Iranian crisis.
Too many to pick from.
There are labels on toys that address the child's age as well as the safety. For instance, on this particular toy, it indicates recommended for children 1.5 years and up. Now, that takes into consideration a child's ability at that particular age. The pieces are bigger than they are, for instance, in another construction set that would be similar and have little tiny, very intricate pieces that a small child could not deal with.
Okay, you can push it in there.
Man off the USS Tennessee, Corey Sharp. What we want to do, I'd like... It recalls to mind of the military men and civilians that lost their lives in defense of a peaceful nation at Pearl Harbor and other places within the bounds of Hawaii.
We're both doors. Seating through both.
It was worth $4. It was great.
Think you'll want to see it again?
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know if I want to stay in line this long, but I got here an hour and 40 minutes before and was first one in line, so I think it was worth it, really was. It's been 10 years, but I'm glad we waited.
How many, sir?
Now we go. Mel Coleman on Secret Gun. Get out there, Mel.
Of a reride. That's the finish. He is disqualified him, bringing him to the place by Marion, Bonnie Gibson, and Art Delaware. Yeah, well, they say on here up for him. Now we go. Down to Memphis tie. Well, 2 in a row having problems here with their tie.
Not all of the kids in rodeo today know Pat, but he knows them. They are part of something he helped make. Real-life memories of an age that Pat Henry still lives. Darrell Barton, News Center 4.
Okay, that's enough, Sue.
Certainly a credit to this young man. His second complete year in professional competition. 15 ropers here.
When we come in here, there's somebody going to win and somebody's going to lose. And I'm prepared to win, I'm prepared to lose. I just do the best I can. If he beats me, fine. If he doesn't, I'll be the champ. But if he wins, there's next year.
I was in the same predicament 2 years ago. I had to place in the last go around to the KIF Open in order to have enough points to be ahead of Tom. I took a chance, and comes down to Sunday night, I'll take another chance.
Here he is, Oklahoma's Tom Ferguson is the all-around champion of the world.
They feel like that within the next year, in 1980, certainly that segment of Northeast and Northwest Expressway should be open by May or June. They would like to see what the traffic is going to do after these streets are open so that a new traffic count could be made. This money can be held and invested so that you're not going to lose any interest in that period of time. But as everybody knows, we don't know what's going to happen out there, and they want to leave it just like it is for the time being until there can be a definite determination as to how the traffic's going to go after these bypasses are open.
Had no effect whatsoever upon the eye of the opposite of what it was. There would have been as many, and if you think that assault upon our embassy was fully orchestrated by Khomeini to achieve three objectives. The first, to get his hands upon his old enemy. The second, to show the world that he could, and I quote, rub the snout of the United States in the dust. He said that a couple days ago. And third was to prop up his failing revolution.
It is very much to our benefit to investigate complaints against our officers, because if we have someone who is not conducting himself properly, it is definitely to our department's benefit to get something done about it. And if there is nothing to the allegations, it is also just as important to clear the air with the public about that.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know about him.
Good guesses. Yeah.
Are y'all ready for some good country music? How about it? Huh? Okay.
Y'all are just like we are in Alabama, just good down-home folks.
Well, if they keep that good applause up, I'm going to have a running fit
No,
right down
no,
through
you just
there.
stay up here.
We know you call us yellow. You'd like to see
all sit not where I raised used to be.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now you can move. Get your water truck now, Paul. Let's water.
People ought to have an open mind so far as the present law is concerned. There would be no repetition of the events of last summer.
Cease and desist and forever be barred. Why wouldn't they have just said, shall cease to be the bargaining agent?
The election of the AFT as bargaining agent for the teachers does not affect the injunction. It is therefore ordered that this temporary injunction with respect to the AFT being disfranchised as a bargaining agent shall continue in effect until December 31, 1980.
And I think the court was very clear in saying that the AFT has to bear some responsibilities for its action in engaging in an illegal strike, and disqualifying the AFT through December of 1980 is very reasonable in my view as a penalty. I'm also pleased that it's quite clear that teachers still will be represented, although not by the AFT, and I will move to do whatever we have to make the opportunity available very soon for teachers to choose a new representative so we can get on with the bargaining process for 1980-81.
I don't think it was fair. I think the teachers received a reprimand for standing up and speaking for what they believed in. I think they have suffered enough for 4 months. I think enough reprisals have been taken. I think it's time to get employer-employee relations back on the road. Between us, it's
I find it hard to believe. I don't see anything really controversial in this week. The only thing that could possibly be thought of anything would be maybe the cover, which has somebody who appears to be sleeping in the inauguration.
What was the reaction of the students at OCU this morning when they saw the newspaper disappear from the stands?
They're pretty baffled.
How cool. We haven't really been looking forward to Christmas, you know. It's just not like it's supposed to be.
They have 6 o'clock.
Hey, I've been trying to get one of these. I'll take it.
Let Jerry get a shot of you at the fruit.
There it is, right here. Yeah, we got a line right here.
I can't find any information that says a fireplace will deteriorate in 10 years.
Okay, if you did have information available to you, what would be the city's action?
We probably would go before our Building Codes Commission and request that some kind of a surveillance be set up, probably through the fire marshals.
You know, as I was saying, really, just in prevent a fire, number one, don't build too big of a fire. Number two, keep your fireplace screen closed. And number three, keep combustibles such as newspapers or logs away from the fireplace. Most fires of all kinds can be prevented, and it's no different with fireplace fires.
The first thing we're going to do is dispatch fire equipment, providing that we don't have several multiple arm fires going or 100 grass fires going. If we can spare the equipment, we're going to send it. And once the equipment is dispatched and is rolling, then perhaps we will check, see if it's outside the city limits or whatever. We do have a policy, and it's an ordinance, that anytime we respond outside the city limits, we charge $100 per hour for each piece of equipment. And many people outside the city limits have this fire clause on their insurance. But the main thing is we will respond immediately, regardless of where it is, within reason as far as distance is concerned outside the city limits.
Engine 12 respond to a grass fire, 2100 Northeast 10, 2100 Northeast 10 a grass fire, 2100 Northeast 10.
Well, the primary unscrupulous things that really affect us is people that contact homeowners or tenants and say they represent the highway department or they represent the city. Our agents are identified with business cards. They'll clearly identify themselves. And we ask anybody who has been approached by anyone who does not identify themselves properly to contact our office and to let us know, and we'll look into that.
But we don't want to just also be in the process.
But they wouldn't pay the extra. They would sign the contract with the city.
By and large, the individual usually that moves into the areas outside of the city boundaries, do not pay the city sales tax and city taxes, property tax, and what have you. And we feel that our first and foremost concern should be the citizens within the corporate boundaries of the city. I'm sure the people that move in some of these areas don't realize, probably don't know who to call.
Curious to get a rough idea what the house is worth out here.
Several years ago, or today's prices?
Well, I think the advantages of living in the country outweigh the disadvantages of not having fire protection. And we're very careful, very careful.
Some of them are large cars that are gas guzzlers, and they say that they would rather give them to Goodwill than to trade them in on new cars. They're buying smaller cars. We've had a lot of inquiries this week regarding donating cars to Goodwill, and they will probably be coming in next week.
I would estimate, as I say, from experience, that a 10-minute or a 15-minute idle time could use as much as a pint to almost a quart of gasoline. It is a waste, but it is necessary. It's like the lesser of the two evils.
For the alcoholic, they've been battling with a number of people for a number of years that I don't have a problem, my problem's no worse than Joe Blow's, etc. So when they're with people, very typically they will put a real control on their drinking so that they can try and convince others they don't drink any more than anybody else. So very frequently we won't see the alcoholic going out and getting smashed as much as we'll see Aunt Millie, who only drinks once a year, go out and getting drunk.
Last time I saw him is westbound from Central.
What I've recommended is a two-pronged.
Okay, one, get the question sorting table.
Is through the Highway Safety Program, we have what we call emergency ambulance services. It's a very small thing, but it's a way that a community who does not have ambulance service can apply to us through the Highway Safety, and through a limited number, we can award ambulances to communities who will keep them up to get emergency service to a hospital.
848-8501.
I doubt if the governor's going to go. But we'll write you a letter. What I think this will do. Why don't I?
Many years ago,
Take an opportunity. Write you a letter.
I think we might follow it.
Well, I still think it's sound.
But I don't think that parents are going to demand that we spend money needlessly that is not needed if, in fact, there is no way of proving that this material is hazardous. And I don't think the EPA is going to say that all material that looks like asbestos or is asbestos is hazardous. It depends on other conditions. And I think they are determining right now what those conditions might be, and we would use those to evaluate whether it was hazardous or not.
I feel that something should be done. Our kids are more important than anything else, or to me. I've been through this routine with cancer, and I don't want to go through it again with my daughter.
We have classrooms and storage areas on both sides of this hall, so take a look as you go down on both sides. I want you to get an idea again of the size of this thing. Again, one of the things that we're interested in here is dropping the ceiling in here, which would affect a very good savings. The key smaller part of the area that's flaking off there would be removed. Then the part that's...
Get your bird dog out here.
In there anyway.
You guys didn't bring out no hot dogs with you, did you?
Realistically, how long does everybody plan to stay?
Good.
Yeah.
Well, they're presently operating with 64 supervisory and non-union personnel that are scheduled for 24-hour-a-day duty. And, of course, that's subject to change, but I really think it'll probably take its toll on those men. If they didn't need 280 men, they wouldn't have hired them to run the refinery in the first place. Of course, we're not buying gas from Iran anymore. That gas is being bought on the spot market at the highest prices that it can be bought for. The OPEC nations couldn't agree on a price for crude oil, and they've all set their own prices, most of which above where the OPEC price would have been. There was more travel in December than there was last December, and because there was more demand for gasoline, more crude oil had to be bought from the spot market and refined, so it mainly has to do with the price of gas from overseas.
bet. Oh, I thought you were the witness. I looked just like you. I am. You worked for Channel 4 and you were the witness. Ah.
This does not affect the appropriated funds.